Hey there, son, you get to use your own gun and carry it in your holster. Don't shoot your foot off now. Don't take your eye out, kid.
If you know why I'm laughing at that, then I was to you. I thought that was intentional, but good job, Nick. You don't get a shot taken at you today. Maybe. Hello there, I'm the person who probably, much to your surprise, actually looks good in a leather jacket. But I guess you can just call me Elijah Perry. Welcome back to the Peeps channel. And welcome to my review of issue 6 of the Walking Dead comic book series. Last issue, you may remember with Nikki last week, was a very, saddening one. We lost a few people, but you know, the story continues. We have a long way to go, seriously. There are so many issues of this book. This issue actually starts off on an equally as sad note as the last issue ended, as this issue begins with the funeral of Amy, Andrea's sister, who you may remember was bitten and killed at the end of the last issue. And it's a very sweet moment. Everybody's sharing their sentiments, you know, expressing their fond memories of Amy. And it's actually a great depiction of how an apocalypse can really bring people together, because these people couldn't have really been together all that long. Like, I want to say a few months at best, and they're talking about her like she was family, like she was blood. And it's moments like that that you really love to see in any form of media, really, because like, and I may be alone on this opinion, but that's something that isn't depicted fairly enough, and it's just really sweet. I'm sorry, I'm getting sentimental. Let's move on. And naturally, because of this, Andrea is really broken up about this. This is something that we'll look at a bit later on down the line, because it's not really explored much in this issue, but either me or Nikki will get to explain it. I don't remember what issue it really comes to fruition, but you'll see. Meanwhile, Donna tends to Jim, who is looking like very worse for wear, and in case you forgot, he was also bitten at the end of last issue, but he actually survived the attack. But it doesn't look like he has a lot of time left, and it's fairly obvious he's not going to make it. On a not better, but slightly less depressing note, Rick, Shane, and Carl go hunting for food for the group to eat, and Carl brings up the fact that they don't have to hunt for as much now that Amy is dead and Jim is too sick for his own good. Rick, in a very somber tone, expresses how he knows the situation, and this sets Shane off. He's yelling stuff like, "It's not my fault," and Rick is arguing back like hell it isn't. And now they're on this giant back and forth about who was right about the conversation they had a few issues back about they should leave, they should stay. And in the midst of all of this, Carl just runs away crying because he doesn't like seeing these two fight. Hey look, I guess Robert Kirkman just really loves this imagery. Meanwhile, Dale tries to comfort Andrea, but she isn't even speaking. She's just broken apart. Jim's condition clearly isn't getting any better, so he makes the decision for the group that they should leave him out in the woods to die and turn into a zombie. And his last words, his last hopes is that in death, he can be reunited with his family again. And so, the group leaves him out on a tree, waiting to turn. Come the next morning, Shane is telling Rick to let him know when he's ready to go hunting. Carl wants to come along. Rick tells Carl to stay. Shane says Carl can come, but Rick rebuttals no, because him and Shane need to talk about something. And we all know what they need to talk about. For those of you who watch the TV show and remember very well, like I do, we are now in a situation that has bypassed season 1 and season 2. Congratulations, we have just shot to season 3. Rick and Shane get into another heated argument, and I mean really heated, to the point where Shane actually punches Rick, and Lori gets so mad that she scratches at Shane. And then Lori proceeds to call Shane a lunatic. she's not wrong. But this actually breaks Shane. He's boiling up in tears. He can't speak. He's all broken up. And it's not just Shane. Upon seeing the situation, the entire group is all shook and shocked and speechless. And with tears in his eyes, Shane rushes out into the woods with Rick following behind him. Meanwhile, Lori sits on the ground with tears in her eyes, questioning what's happened to everybody. They're no longer normal. Stuff is just falling apart. And keen eyes will notice on the far right of the panels, Carl runs off after Shane and Rick. You know where this is going if you watch the TV show. Rick catches up to Shane, who aims a shotgun at him and just starts letting it all out. He's mad, right? He's blaming Rick for stuff falling apart. He's blaming Rick for everything that's happened. And it's actually kind of a bit of a therapy moment for him. He's accepting all the failures that he brought upon the group, like all the stuff, all the danger he put them in, but projecting it onto Rick so that he doesn't feel any bad about it. And he kind of lets a little something slip in their argument. Shane lets it slip that if everything had gone right, she would have came around. She in the situation, obviously referring to Lori. And with Rick staring down the barrel of a shotgun, Shane exclaims that Rick wasn't meant to come back and he wasn't meant to live. Rick pleads with Shane to drop the gun, but at that very moment, Shane is shot in the neck. Then none other than the 7-year-old little badass to be, Carl Grimes. And just like that, Shane is dead. Now, like I said earlier, you may remember this happening about season 3-ish of season 3 of the show. I'll put the exact episode here in case I'm wrong, but this happened a lot later in the show than it does here. This is only issue 6, and the show, Shane lived a bit longer, so we get character growth, and we can build character and stuff, instead of here where it's just a few bits of dialogue and then everything goes off the rails. Carl breaks down in tears in his dad's arms that it feels different than killing the dead ones. And with Shane's body lying in the grass, Rick tells Carl that it should never feel the same as killing the dead ones. And the issue ends with the death of Shane Walsh. This was a crazy issue. We had 3 major losses of the group in the total of 2 issues, and it's just wow. But this issue, specifically, is actually a very important turning point, as this issue will have major effects on the story going forward. This issue is the start of the stuff that just permanently damages Rick, what turns him into who we know him as now, and it's great. It's just a great issue, Nothing even happens. We don't even see a zombie in this issue, and it's great. I do like how in the show they built up to that final moment a bit better. I don't know what to say in terms of better, because some people are going to be mad that I say stuff about the show is better. Some people are going to be mad that I say stuff about the comics is better. I'm torn, guys, I'm torn! But I do think the show built up to this moment just a bit better than the comics did. The comics just kind of rushed through to it, while the show took time to build it up, which is amazing, because in the show, they didn't even know if it was going to get a second season. So the fact that they actually took the liberty of keeping Shane alive was just amazing. There's not much I can really say now, except give a bunch of opinions about Shane's death. I'm happy about it. Shane is definitely the definition of a character that can't live in an apocalypse with a group. He would tear them apart, he would break, everything would just go wrong, and it did. So you know what, that's going to be the end of this video. If you liked it, show us you liked it, show us you loved it actually, by leaving a like on the video, commenting down there, commenting in the video. If you want to see the rest of these videos, there is a nice little playlist we have lined up with all of the reviews leading up to this, including this, and watch them all, and let me know how much you love my energy over Nikki's, because, Don't stop, get it, peep how your captain's in it, steady, watch me navigate, I'll see you guys in the review of issue 8. Nikki will see you next week for issue 7. Goodbye, everybody.